are there. Perfect. Okay, so it is Wednesday night. I did not expect to be here on a Wednesday night. I really thought it would be Sunday before the next time I did this. But I am definitely not feeling super great. And I didn't want to keep my wife up while I was sneezing. And I thought that maybe this would distract me a little bit to get some of this work done. So we're going to go in and let's see, 38 seconds, do a couple of these roster reviews that I have in my backlog. The first one up, I believe it's like a 7.3 million account, something like that. Hello, I saw you did roster reviews and recommendations, so I wanted to see if you do one for me as well whenever you have time. I am in my Fleet Shard group already, and we all just adjusted our reset time amongst top 12 roughly to not collide with each other, so I will be able to hit first daily. We only have one Leviathan, alright, good, at 5 stars, and some of us can win with triple attackers, so not too big of an issue for now. Alright, so Fleet should be relatively in order. My CT is 7 of 7. I guess 7 of 7 for CT1, 6 of 7 for CT2, and 6 of 7 for CT3, but I can't recall. I know I can't do the Night Sisters one for sure. So this is an account that definitely has their ROI in order. That doesn't seem to really be the issue for this guy. I just finished ticket farming for Leia, and now I'm ult farming. I also have Mon Mothma left to begin ticket farming for JML. Alright, so we're close to Leia. We're close to JML as soon as she is finished, and that's good. Additionally, my Rey is sitting at G10. Because Leia, JML are more important, especially since I don't have Ben yet. We'll unlock in about 3 months. Similarly, with Malgus and all the other PG tunes. Okay, so probably has C to be able to do that. C or SLKR, whichever one, or maybe both. My question is, after Rey is finished, what do you recommend going for next? I'm thinking it has to be one of the 2 remaining capital ships. And while Leviathan is a new fancy tool, I'm wondering if waiting to find out what the new cap ship is coming out in the summer might be a better route, especially because of the high investment needed for Leviathan. If so, should I go for Profundity, since it appears that it can still counter Leviathan somewhat? So then whatever new cap ship comes out, now we just kind of get rambly. If so, what other farms would you recommend with Profundity, as it will definitely be shorter than Leviathan? So might have time before a new cap ship is announced, while JML or C. Okay, so he does not have C. Might be potential farms. They don't feel so efficient for me. Well, now the interesting thing is that this person mentions being really close to JML and then wondering what they're going to do after Rey. So I don't really necessarily know what their route is, supposed to look like. Let's kind of take a gander. Where is that? There it is. We have another supporter of .gg. I don't know why this doesn't want to pull up further, but that's okay. Silvex, 7.3 account. Now, since we're a little further away, and I know that our assault battles seem to be mostly in order, let's just kind of take a look at this. Kylo Ren, we've got Kylo Ren. Rey we obviously have. She's only in G10. We have Jedi Knight Luke already. This says something completely different, unless I'm reading this incorrectly. I also have Mon Mothma left to begin ticket farming for JML as soon as Leia is finished. Now, this person sent this to me about like 3 or 4 days ago, so I guess that it is possible that they've started or they've finished Mon Mothma in the time since we've talked. Okay, so we're missing those 2, Lord Vader. way off on Lord Vader. Jabba the Hutt we have Executor, Profundity. We're not too far away from Leviathan 1500. Let's see. There we go. It was all busted before. Collections. Did he get Jedi Master Luke in these couple of days since we talked? Or did he just get Mon Mothma? He got Mon Mothma, Jedi Master Luke, so no Jedi Master Luke. What about Leia? Alright, so got Leia. Looks like we have started the Jedi Master Luke trend. What I would say, unless this person, I'm assuming they meant Jedi Master Kenobi, a little bit further down in their message, just because it doesn't make sense that they would have Jedi Master Luke and not want to finish him or get him. I would definitely say, just in case I'm wrong with the message, we did get Leia. Alright, so I'm a little behind on that. 100% you should be going for JML. This is a 7.3 million account. If you are serious about working through Conquest, Jedi Master Luke is just the way to go for that, especially when you're just concerned with the Kyrotech investment of the GL itself, since you are on the ticket farming. Rey is only at G10 right now, and I know that she's not super great without Ben, but I mean, quite honestly, any GL is a good GL at this point in the game. There's no reason not to finish her. I know that the Kyrotech investment is super high, and that can make things feel a little bit iffy. But when you're 7.3 million GP, the extra GLs are a godsend, right? You never really want to be at a GL disadvantage. Okay, so we don't have Malgus yet, and I can. Hey Luke, how's it going? We don't have Malgus yet, and I can understand the desire to not want to go for Leviathan. Based on the new GL ship that is coming in. Let's just look at where we are here with everything. We have the Mark 6. Where's Dagger? Dagger. Do we have a Dagger somewhere in here? Oh, there we go. 7-star Dagger. Let me just double check that gear. You made it to something, Blackhammer. This is kind of like an impromptu last-minute thing. I wasn't feeling too well tonight, and I didn't want to keep my wife awake, so I popped down to my computer to keep me busy. So hopefully I'm still entertaining. This is a tough one. You know, we're looking at Malgus, you said, in like 3 months, and we're looking at a fleet meta shift in... We're in February now, so probably July, August, about 6 to 7 months. I think, we never really know what to expect when it comes to a meta shift. Executor was kind of dicey in the beginning when Leviathan came out, or I should say towards the middle, because it was really easy to beat it with Executor in the very beginning when it was bugged. But we never know what to expect, and Leviathan was such a big jump in terms of what you need in order to get it, that it's very, very possible that we're going to see another major jump with the next ship. There's speculation of it being Red 5 and it not being a capital ship. There's speculation of it being Trench's ship. There's arguments that it's always gone light side, dark side, light side, dark side. But then we got Lord Vader and Jabber one after the other with the GLs. So I don't like to speculate, and I kind of just like to go off of the information that we have right now versus, the information that we may or may not have in the future. I would probably say, considering where you are with Malgus, I don't know where you are with his ship, and that can definitely be that can be a make it or break it thing. I would say that if you have Malgus's ship close to unlock, right, you have most of the shards for that, because that's going to be hitting Proving Grounds next month, that I would hold off and go for Leviathan, just because you're going to have an easier time going into the new meta if the new ship really obliterates everything that we have right now. I know it seems like it's a really, really big investment going forward, but the reality is that if you're, you know, a Kyber player, and I'm pretty sure you are if I remember correctly, yeah, there you are, you're gonna want to have as many meta fleets as possible, and you're gonna want to be able to stay on top of your fleet shard. Now, if you don't have a lot of those ship shards right now, right, and it's gonna take you 5, 6, 7 months to get that ship from Proving Grounds, or even longer if you haven't really been prioritizing it in the last set, then go for Profundity, right? Profundity is going to have a much more realistically easy time going forward in the new meta, if it's anything like the one that was previous to it. But Leviathan's going to be the better call. So again, go for Leviathan if you're fairly close shard-wise on the Fury class. Go for Profundity if you're not on the Fury class, right? If you're like at less than 100 shards, something like that, I would go for Profundity just because you're a little bit closer to it. Now, when it comes to C and saying that he's a waste, you already have the ROI of all of the assault battles, so that's not necessarily going to be a major boost for you. But the reality is that if you look at that 1400 circuit boards, right, and going down, this seems like a daunting task, but it honestly isn't. And while it's unlikely that you're going to unlock Bane in the first going of Bane, C is going to see a huge boost in GAC with Bane added, and based on a 7.3 million active account, it is very likely that you're going to have that in, you know, the 4 to 6 month period, and you're not going to want to be caught without that. I personally think I would be prioritizing the fleet over the GL right now, because I would want to protect my fleet shards or my fleet crystals, rather than, you know, push for a GL that maybe I'm not super excited about. But my philosophy has always been ROI first, you know, and GL's second, and then, you know, everything else, fun farms, and GAC farms, and whatever else always kind of falls in the wayside behind that. And when I say GLs, I loop the ships in there as well, just because they are that important. Black, I'm looking over here, you got super lucky. That's awesome with that pack. I did a video on it earlier, and then I realized I completely foobarred one piece of the math, but actually in a good way, because the value is even higher. So I plan to redoing it in the morning. It's crazy the ROI on that $25 pack if you're looking to, you know, if you're looking to spend in the game. So anyway, I would strongly consider C. I get the hate for Lord Vader. I don't get it. He's amazing at Conquest. He is really good in GAC as well. I don't buy the Lord Failure thing. But you are so far behind on it that right now maybe it doesn't make so much sense. And Dr. Afra, while a great character, and I use her as my Java cleanup, she's not amazing without the Datacrons, and who knows when the next set of Datacrons is going to come around. One thing that you might want to consider, you're at 7.3 million, you know, and let's just take a look at your guild really quick. What's our guild at? 467 million guild. You're probably going to want to start going for a Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. I just want to take a quick look at that. Ooh, okay. So, Cal. Okay, and Marin, right? And Marin. We're kind of overdue, right, on getting the Jedi Knight Cal Kestis event. I'm really surprised that it actually wasn't announced today. So it's very unlikely that you're going to see the next set for it, but it's more than likely going to see permanence in June, July. I would make sure that you're continuing to slow farm those things so that you're ready for that, just because your guild is definitely going to want to see you having that going forward. Especially Zepho is like basically a free star for your guild. So I wouldn't over prioritize it right now, but I would definitely be putting some of your efforts towards that, just so that you, one, are a guild team player, and two, as much as I hate Fallen Order as a game, and as much as I hate Cal Kestis as a character, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis is a really, really, really solid character to have in your roster. I know TB Omicrons get a lot of shit and people don't like to do them, but I don't see the ROI so much on my GAC, especially as a turtle and someone who doesn't really care to advance to K1 anymore. But what I do see is an ROI on my time in those TB Omicrons. Not a lot of them. I don't put a lot of them in. But being able to auto things with them allows me to turn a battle on and just kind of walk away, or like brush my teeth or take a shower or whatever else I need to do without actually having to babysit my screen. So while that might not necessarily be your cup of tea, I have found a ton of utility in Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, and I hear a lot of talk about him being able to counter Malgus in GAC, which is a really great thing, especially when gas is kind of unreliable at this point. And I know not everybody is, but I've been having a lot of trouble with Treya lately. So having something reliable is really nice. I know I can't be too helpful here just because you seem to have a really good handle on your account, and the things that I normally would suggest you definitely already have. But I would definitely, you already have Leia, 100% invest in JML, 100% invest in Rey, just because you literally already have her. It does not make sense not to do it. And then Leviathan Profundity really depends on where you are with the Fury class shards. And again, slow farming Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. So if you have any other questions, hit me up on Discord. I think we had this discussion, Black, maybe over Discord. I have a lot of discussions with a lot of people, so sometimes it blurs together. But with Leviathan versus Profundity, you have your quicker route versus your longer route. And I think that the longer route is the safer route, but the quicker route will give you some of that instant gratification. So if you're willing to take on that long project, then 100% by all means friggin' go for it. Actually, cheers, Larry. Actually, Black, I promised you to look at your roster on camera, and I have your stuff up next. So if you're here, maybe you can just answer the questions for me, right? I'm going to put a timestamp on there. I'm going to throw up my Discord. Let me pop your GG in here. Just got to find it through all of our messages. I'm not sure if I pin... Oh, wait, I did pin it because I'm a smart boy. Okay. Right, there we go. Cheers, Lord. Yeah, Luke, I haven't... oh, nice and sexy. I haven't really used the Jedi Knight Cal Kestis counter just yet, but I see it being used a lot, and hands down, super great there. So let's see, Black, what we got here, and if I have any questions, and hopefully I don't contradict myself and make myself look like an ass here, just because I'm not going to look at all of our other messages between ourselves, but let's see. All right. Okay, so I know I definitely told you to go for Kylo Ren just because you did buy that pack, right? Jedi Knight Luke, Jedi Master Luke, we have... Okay, I'm not reading our messages right now, but I probably should circle back and read something. There we go. Grand Inquisitor, Jabba, okay, Executor, Profundity. Now you are hard set on going that Leviathan route, and all for it, and go for it. Alright, I'm going to take a quick second to kind of just read over what we were talking about. I was giving you a sneak peek on some of my episode stuff, some pictures. By the way, I took my Malgus to R9 today because some asshats in my fleet arena started throwing those up. And I've been having trouble with my Leviathan, so I figured I guess I had to play the arms race with them, which sucks. I didn't really want to use R9 material on that, but that's okay. Let's see. Finish, executive finish, duper funded, make them. Alright, actually, we're kind of, looking back on my notes, we're kind of where, where I said we would be anyway. So let's kind of take a look at this, right? You just decided to go with the long route for Leviathan instead of Profundity. See, let's take a look at what we got for Jabba over here. 7 stars. Well, he's a Cantina farm, so you can do that super quickly. And Skiff will take you about 3 months. And then let's just take a look. Piet. Alright. I want to take a look because I do not remember your whole assault battle lineup. Okay. Let's see these bounty hunters. You're probably doing CT2 on Rebel Roundup. That's the problem with doing these follow-ups, is I have to like really double guess myself. Yeah, Sith Assassin, they're taking R9 too. Nobody has done that yet in my shard, thankfully. At least Malgus is going to serve me pretty well in GAC. Black for Forest Moon and for Rebel Roundup. Do you happen to remember your assault battles there? I'm looking at this and it looks like probably CT2 for Rebel Roundup and probably CT2 for Forest Moon. Would you say that's correct, or are you doing them at CT3 now? Just so I get an idea on if I really even care about these troopers or not for right now. Alright, and take a look at these guys. Probably doing that CT2, CT3. Let's see. Inquisitors, did we ever do these? Oh, we haven't done those yet. Let me take a look at your guild. Let's see, CT2 for both. Okay, so I'm gonna ignore C for now, because the things that you would really get out of that are not really super important for where you are in the game. 258 million, 5 million. Where are we at? Let's pull this up. Okay, all right. I don't know if we talked about your guild, if you care about your guild, if you really hang out with those guys, but I could definitely see you pulling a little bit higher weight than you are right now, if that is a thing that you want to do. Just because of, the GLs, because of some of your GAC focus, probably not too much higher than you are right now. So maybe it's just not worth doing yet, and maybe that's something that you're going to consider a little bit further in the future. What I think would probably be important for you right now is to go for Jabba. Jabba's a super solid GL. He's going to really help you in Conquest for anything that is like no Force users. Obviously, he can't be used in the no GLs thing. But the really main thing that you're going to get out of him is, one, really awesome in GAC. Not great on defense right now because of the current Datacron. What are they called? Datacrons. Because of the current Datacrons. But he's going to be really good in GAC. He's going to be really good in TW. He does solid as all hell in Conquest. Has an ROTE focus. But also you get the Smugglers Run 2 event, and the Smugglers Run 2 event is one of the best things, and I know that you have a super big heart on for mods, right? You're sending me mod pictures like almost every day on Discord, and being able to kind of invest a little bit further for free through the Smugglers Run 2 event is going to really serve the gameplay the way that you technically like to play the game. And the way that I like to play the game. You're also going to get that Rebel Roundup CT3, which is going to be really nice for you. I'm somewhat close to all the cal requirements too. Ooh, let me check. Let me take a look at those cal requirements for you, man. Marin. Okay, so Marin's up. At least you got her at 7 stars. Sears at 7 stars. What do we got for Saw? Saw's at 6 stars. Do you know how many shards you have of Saw right now? Tarful. And Tarful. Do you remember your shards for Tarful and for Saw? And what about Baby Cal? Baby Cal, you have a 5 already. Here's what I'm going to say about Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. If you think that you can get Jedi Knight Cal Kestis ready for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis within the next 3 weeks, right, then that might be a really good project for you, just because I know you like your GAC focus and he's really solid there, especially with that Malgus counter. If you don't think you can get them ready in like the next 3 weeks or so, I really, really, really believe that we're going to see Cal within that time frame, maybe a month maximum. I don't think that they're going to hold out. All right, so with them at 70 at 100, I would take that on as your short-term project, just based off of the way that you like to play the game. Okay, it's not necessarily the way that I like to play the game, and it's maybe not necessarily the thing that I would do. I personally would prioritize Jabba over Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, but having talked to you fairly long term, I think that he's going to serve your particular purpose a little bit better, and there's kind of like that time gate window there, so I would do that. I might even refresh each of them once a day, just because, and just to be sure, just to be sure of when that event is going to hit. But after you do that, I would 100% be going for Jabba for all of the reasons that I listed before, and he's just going to be super solid for you. Cursatan, you can just kind of burn out really super quickly because he is a Cantina farm, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. And you can do Skiff in about that 3-month timeline without having to refresh at all, because Bosch is already ready. So I might consider not even refreshing Skiff at all, especially because you're probably in a little bit of a Zeta deficit at the moment, unless you've been buying a lot of those Zeta packs. I know that we've talked about it in the past. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but I get it. But Skiff, you're looking at... Well, here's the tricky thing, with what we're looking at. Skiff's probably about 2 months away. I would maybe just start slow farming that now to get it ready. Looking at our Malgus, I know we have Malgus done. Let's see what our other ships are looking like. Dagger is done. Mark 6 is done. What's the other one? Fury class you don't have yet, but I'm assuming you're fairly close to that at this point. B28, you're within 100 shards of 100 times 3, so you're within 2 months of the B28, and then the Sith fighter. No, that's the TIE fighter. We want the Sith fighter. But the Sith fighter. I might consider refreshing Sith fighter 1 time per day just to kind of speed that up. I don't think you're going to need to speed up the B28 just based on where you are with it. That might be a Cantina farm. I can never remember how far or what farm is what style farm. But definitely speed up that Sith fighter node if you can do it. And if it's Cantina, then great. I think you're going to have a split focus between Leviathan and Jabba, just because you are kind of waiting on some shards here. So I would say definitely put gear priority towards Leviathan. But as you start to shore up some of the stuff in Leviathan that you no longer need, start putting that towards Java. So like your gear and everything. All right, perfect. Sith is in Cantina. I need you on these streams every day. And as I'm talking out of my ass, you can just tell me what each thing is. Or I could get off of my ass and I could throw something on my PC. But I'm also lazy and feeling sick, so you have to forgive me for that. But I would say a little extra priority towards Leviathan. But definitely a soft focus on Jabba for right now, because he is going to help you considerably in the way that you particularly like to play the game. Those would be my two focuses. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, super great too, just for how you like to play. So that's, something that I would very strongly consider for you. And then you and I, we almost have like a back and forth constantly, so I'm not going to even go past Jabba. You'll hit me up in a few weeks and be like, hey, I got him, and what do I do from here? And I'll 100% hook you up at that point. Okay, so I'm going to kind of move on to what I have next, and I'm going to mark down a timestamp for myself and throw this next one up on the screen. Let's see. Throw this one in. This is probably not at all good for my voice right now, but that's okay. Who needs a voice, right? Okay, let's see. I heard those words. Smuggler's Run is amazing, man. Black Hound, like seriously amazing. You want Smuggler's Run. You want Smuggler's Run too. Alright, so let's see what TheKing says. In my shard there are 10 Leviathans, and the rest can change, but usually there are more executors than profundities. CT1, 6 of 7, CT2, 6 of 7, CT3, 4 of 7. Right now I just unlocked SLKR, and I just need to bring him to Relic 7 to give him the ultimate, and I will start to farm profundity. For me, the efficiency should be the same as the fun, so I don't really like going into boring stuff, like, for example, fighting Leviathan every day. Well, unfortunately, you are going to be fighting Leviathan every day, and that completely sucks. Let's see. Just want to check out our GLs. Okay, so we just finished Kylo, I know that. Rey, we did not buy that Lightspeed bundle. We do have Jedi Master Luke, Sith Eternal Emperor, pretty far away. Jedi Master Kenobi. Jedi Master Kenobi has really fallen from grace in terms of being an early game GL, but I get it. He is amazing, just not necessarily for what we need. Okay, we're not too far away. Leviathan, Afra, Leia. Alright, I don't know what the hell this guy needs from me, but we'll see. Kyber 4, 7.6 million, so very similar to what I had before. Malgus is R9. Let's just see, Malik. I'm assuming Malik R3. I definitely bring Malik up. He's just solid, and if you have a 3, Omicron Malgus, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice by having a Malik that's so easy to get through. Let's see, Wampa. Saw somebody yesterday that didn't even have Wampa. They had Jedi Master Luke and Wampa, like, or they were close to it, and they had a 7-star Wampa, and they were like so far behind, and it blew my mind. Oh look, all my favorite friends are showing up tonight. How blessed am I? 1, 2, 3, 4 GL. Oof. Let's see what we got for this Leviathan. Do we have Fury class? No Fury class yet. Mark 6. Okay, 5 stars. Dagger, 5 stars. B28. B28, 5 stars. It seems like you are moving toward the Sith Fighter, 6 stars. Alright, and I just want to check this again. I always hit profile, I mean to hit collection. One day I'll learn. Grand Inquisitor, so we do have Inquisitors. let's just check out Sirjundo. Seems like you also are not a fan of Fallen Order. That's okay. Doing a disservice to me with that Marin, but that's also alright. Doing that, oh, that's because I'm spelling Tarful wrong. Okay, so it doesn't seem like we give a shit about Jedi Knight Cal Kestis at all, and in the short term, it's not going to really help you to go for him because that event's going to come back. You're going to have to wait for that to be permanent anyway. I'm going to take another look at this. 15. Okay. Do we have cat? Saw somebody with like a level 1 cat a few days ago. Oh my god. Well, you know what? We don't have... We don't have Jedi Master Kenobi. We don't have Rey, so I guess I can forgive this. It's probably not something that's super on your priority or on your radar. I get it. It makes sense with where we are in the game, but I think my cats are trying to get into the room. But if they do, they're going to jump on my desk and cause a ruckus. So we're going to try to avoid that from happening. Where do I want to go with this profile? Let's take a look at these guys just to see. Okay, let's take a look at the Night Sisters to see how poorly we've been neglecting them. Alright, well, a lot of work needs to go into these Night Sisters, but maybe not right this second. You're not getting any viability at all out of them. It looks like you've put a little bit of priority towards Marin versus the other Jedi Knight Cal Kestis requirements. So I have a feeling that you maybe have an affinity for her as well, since the rest of your Night Sisters aren't doing so hot. If that's the case, if you're like, hey, I am slow farming Marin, then I would consider bringing Zombie, Talzin, and Daka to G12. It'll require 0 Chirotech. And with Marin, you'll be able to get the CT1, possibly the CT2 as well, which would be really nice for you to kind of get that. I wouldn't put too terrible much priority into it unless you're really gung-ho on getting Marin up right now. But the moment that you do bring Marin to G12 for the Jedi Knight Cal Kestis event, I would 100% put everything that you have into these guys. Now, I know you hate fighting Leviathans, they suck, but the reality is we are going to see a meta shift going into like July, August. Going into July, August, and we really don't know exactly what we don't really know exactly what to expect from that meta shift. The cost of Leviathan was so ridiculously high, and as a veteran player, most veteran players, it was fairly easy, but just the raw cost of it was very, very high. So I have a feeling the next fleet it almost has to take a step up from there. But the counter argument is that Jabba is much more friendly than Lord Vader was, and hell, even Leia is much more friendly than Vader was. So it's very possible that they walk that back just a little bit. I would be putting my energy towards Profundity. I don't disagree with Profundity, but I would also be putting energy towards Leviathan. As a Kyber player, you definitely want to have all of the fleets. And it is nice to have those free shards each month until you actually have to invest your crystals in something. So when a new fleet comes out, I typically don't automatically just bring it to 7 stars. I always gauge my fleet arena, and every month when the event comes around, I look at where everybody else is at, and I decide, hey, do I want to refresh this month? Do I not want to refresh this month? And you're kind of in that position since you are able to beat your fleet arena with your triple attacker executor right now. But I would be trying to get the Profundity shards and the Leviathan shards so that you can make bringing both of those ships to 7 stars a cheaper process overall. I personally think, based off of what's currently in the game and what we currently have available to us, that you have 2 paths that you can go. I personally think the Sith Eternal Emperor path makes more sense, just because you're going to be building up your Imperial Troopers that are a great GAC team, and it's also going to get you that CT3 on 2 of the assault battles that you're, well, actually only 1 of the assault battles that you're currently probably not doing at CT3. Well, you know, let me double check again. Yeah, one of the ones that you're probably not getting at CT3 just yet. And with Bane coming out, it doesn't. You're probably not getting him in the 3-month timeline, but you are probably getting Bane in that 4 to 5 month timeline based on where you are. And I don't get excited about Conquest characters often. My dad bought Boba is still like G8. My Trench is still like G8. My Malicos is actually now just G12, and that's only because of Conquest. I'm excited about Bane. He really does seem like he is going to significantly improve Sith Eternal Emperor, who I actually really liked previous to what's going on right now. So I would strongly consider the Sith Eternal Emperor route. The other option you have available to you is the Jedi Master Kenobi route. And the reason you might want to consider the Jedi Master Kenobi route is because you do have Cat, right? And that's going to involve bringing Cat up to like R7. They are amazing together in GAC. It's just a solid team to have. He's going to work really great in Conquest. I use him as like my delete team. So I mean 11.3 million GP. I have answers to literally everything. But when I just don't want to deal with a team, I throw in Kenobi and Cat. I get past that node and I move on. He's going to be great in GAC. He's going to be great in TW. He's also really solid in ROTE. He is an all-around good team. But at the point of the game that you're in, we're not really necessarily talking about the ROI on materials anymore, right? So focus the 2 fleets, and then Sith Eternal Emperor or Jedi Master Kenobi seems to be what makes the most sense for you. My personal opinion is Sith Eternal Emperor for the reasons that I listed, but it's totally understandable to go for Jedi Master Kenobi. Christian, what you can do, I know we've chatted a few times, hit me up on Discord. If you haven't seen me on Reddit, I do have a Reddit thread which lists all of the information that I ask for before I do a roster review. And if you hit me up on there now or later, I'll send you the Reddit thread so you can see it when I have time to look at my Discord. And I try to get to them a couple times a week, and when I can't get to them for a few days, I just do like a crazy big live stream. I am doing another big one. This one was unplanned because I was just sick and I needed to keep my mind off of being sick. But I am Super Bowl Sunday. I'm planning on getting up early. I'm actually also planning on getting up early tomorrow morning because I took the day off of work. I think I'm going to stream, but because I am doing it now, I'm probably just going to get my territory battles out of the way now. With that said, that's 3 people that I've talked about so far. TheKing, if you have any other questions for me about what you need, you're still in that point of the game where we're focused on GLs rather than the smaller stuff, but hit me up. We'll talk about it a little bit more. What I want to do now is I want to actually cancel this out. Look at my sweet Mega Man background. Well, you guys can't because I transitioned it out. And I want to get my territory battles done just so I don't have to worry about it. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm notorious for just autoing everything. I just think there's a supreme ROI on my time as a person. So this is my favorite part because I can get to, really just kind of chat with you guys while I let the game kind of do its own thing and let the chips fall wherever those chips may fall. Okay, so we are gonna let's do first order here. I did these all yesterday with, no, I don't want him. I did these all yesterday with no platoons, so I'm fairly confident that I'll be able to do these today with my platoons available to me. Whew, man, I need some water, but screw it, right? Screw it. Ooh. what I've been noticing lately, ever since the STAP or stop was announced, a lot of these content creators are jumping on that Jar Jar Binks bandwagon. And if anyone takes anything from me, the only thing I want you to remember is that I have been shilling for Jar Jar Binks for the absolute longest time. That guy is my boy, right? I am on that train. I've always been on that train, and as much as I'm neutral on a lot of these guys, I just want us all to remember that I was there first. So when Arnold starts flipping his shit over Jar Jar Binks later on, when he does eventually get announced, I just want everyone there to remind him, hey, this guy had it first, and he's been speaking and spitting facts for years. Super Bowl. Here's the thing. I am a Broncos fan. Okay, I'm a new Broncos fan. My wife and I did not watch football until this season. We had an awful season. I am kind of glad that we had an awful season, just so that I can eventually, when we win the Super Bowl, say that I'm not a front runner, and I can say that I stuck by them through a real shit season. My wife is a huge Taylor Swift fan, so I know that there's going to be some rooting for the Chiefs, in my house. I'm honestly there for the food and the wings. I grew up a 49ers fan, kind of like in the cursory way that a kid who doesn't watch football just kind of picks a team and reps them for no reason. But to make my wife happy, we're gonna be rooting for the Chiefs, even though they are the reason that the Broncos are not in the Super Bowl. I want to keep a happy household. Yeah, I'll never forget, guys. Like Jar Jar, me. That's been my thing forever. When he does come to the game this year, and he will, I'm telling you, 2024, it is frickin' happening. I'm gonna have to pick something else. I think it's gonna be Bail Organa, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. We're gonna get there, and we're gonna piss off a lot of people along the way. I don't care. Jar Jar is legit. Jar Jar is what I'm looking forward to. Jar Jar is frickin' life, all right? Like, was it Ted Lasso? Football is life. That's a different football, though. We are on the same side for, I guess, a specific reason. I think that you have been a Chiefs fan a lot longer than... And I'm kind of only a cursory fan for the day, but next year we can hate each other again when I am rooting for my Broncos and whoever is going to be QBing for us next year. We'll see what happens. Oh, look at that. Beautiful, just in time. No, I used my Inquisitors already earlier today. We'll do LV here. Just don't really like using LV here, but we are going to do it. We'll throw you in there. If I were a smarter man, I would probably be setting up prefab teams, but I am not a smarter man. That has never been my go-to thing, so it's all right. I don't want Senator Jar Jar. I mean, any Jar Jar is good, right? Like, I'll take any Jar Jar, but I just really think I've been on the Jar Jar bandwagon for so long because I think that blubbering idiot Jar Jar is the way to go. I think he adds so much value to the game. I think he is a piece of shit character. But I think he adds so much value to the game in terms of how silly he can be. And I think that Senator Jar Jar doesn't really add that same viability. Like I said, I would like to see Bail Organa, whether it's a rebel senator, whether it is a Galactic Republic senator. I don't think he has a place as an Imperial senator because he was kind of like like a covert agent in that regard. But I do think that I would like to see a Chancellor Palpatine that kind of functions sort of like Starkiller, right? In that maybe he needs Galactic Republic and Separatist allies to really realize his full power in his kit, and I think that that could largely be really interesting for him. Whew. All right, look at that. Dark side is all done. That is beautiful. I love to see it. Oof. What do we got here? Executor. I think Executor can auto this node, but let's find out. I think I have a video of that somewhere. I don't know. I kind of lose track of that. My Night Sisters are Relic 8. I think they are an amazing team for Rise of the Empire. If you look through my YouTube playlist, I have it broken down by planet. Teams that can auto different nodes, and Night Sisters can auto in literally every phase. They auto dark side and large side of phase 1. They auto neutral of phase 2. They can auto the dark side of phase 2, but it does get a little bit iffier, and there is a little bit of luck there. I auto the Marin special mission in day 3. You can auto Tatooine in day 3. You can actually, I did this yesterday, you can do the Hondo tier in day 2 with just 4 Night Sisters. Day 4, you can do the neutral missions with just 4 Night Sisters taking Asajj Ventress out. It's, I think, the only planet where you can do that, and it's completely auto. With full platoons, they can even auto day 4 on the dark side CMs. They can't take out the sortie node. I don't think that there's many teams that can. If any can, I'm not up on my stuff there. But the Night Sisters in ROTE are freaking amazing, and I love them to death for that. Can you send Jabba alone? No, I didn't think so. When my guild is doing... can't read and talk at the same time. When my guild is doing day 5 CMs, I'm going to take them to R9, I think. I think largely about that time, there'll probably be some new avenues for R9 materials. I am a little low on R9 materials right now because, as I said earlier, there is some asshat who has been starting an arms race in my fleet shard, and I just gonna have to learn to deal with that. So I did have to bring Malgus up to R9 today, and that kind of pissed me off. But to answer your question, I would love to make a highlight reel of Night Sisters and post it up. They're just an all-around solid team for their investment in territory battles. How are they going to do in like GAC against a GG team going forward with their new Omicron? I don't know, but I don't really use them against GG teams anymore. I've been using... Hello. Welcome to Late Sick Nights with Egnards, who will talk in his highly sarcastic monotone. I've been using them for Jabba. Okay, they can't solo Jabba anymore, but because I am a GAC turtle and there's not much that I can do in GAC when literally all of my GLs are on defense, I've found them very helpful for being able to take out Jabbas with a secondary team after that. And because a lot of people seem to put Jabba on defense right now, I don't think it's a thing in Kyber 1. But for me, I've definitely noticed that in Kyber 2, it's still most certainly is a thing. It's not the real Egnards, who I still have no idea who that is. And I would really love whoever was on the subreddit with that name to stand up. But it is the real Egnards. Yeah, I know in K1 people don't place job on defense, but it's something that I notice a lot. So that's, I think you kind of jumped in as I was saying. I still notice it a lot in K2. It's actually in my my GAC battle. I've been trying to say GAC more lately. I've been noticing it a lot, and I noticed it in my last round that's happening right now. I personally do put him on defense, but if you're talking about to me as the real Egnards, then you definitely know that I'm a turtle and I just throw it all on defense, right? Like for me, every single GL is going on defense. I don't have the time to play GAC the way other people might play it, and I'm totally happy with it. For most people, that's I know not the greatest defensive team right now. Yeah, surprisingly, I'm not seeing a lot of Leias anymore on defense after the Datacron in K2. Good team. Yeah, where you are in the game, Dance, based on what you're telling me, I would prioritize GL over NS. I do not think that they're a high priority team for somebody who doesn't have all the GLs. But for somebody who's a little bit higher in the game, then it's definitely a really, really nice team to have. And the ROI on their event is not super high until you also have Marin. Yeah, again, Yubnub, like I said, I agree with you. I know that he's not a great defensive GL, but, it's a different dynamic in that I just don't find the PvP in this game to be very interesting at all. It's basically the same wall against the same wall, use the same counters against the same counters literally every round for me. So I just throw it all on defense and I do my best. And sometimes that means that a round is like 90 points to 100 points. But sometimes it also means that, somebody that's really Jesus Christ, lost it. Whatever. I don't know. Not important. Well, in terms of hating TB, I don't particularly like TB. I don't know what I really like in this game. I 8.2 and 3. Wow, man, like at 8 I had like 6. You gotta go, you gotta get more, you gotta get up there. Hit me up on Discord, I'll help you out. It's Egnards on Discord. No caps, it's just lowercase EGNARDS. I'll send you my roster review thread. In terms of what to RA, Yubba Nub Dub, you have a much higher account than I do, so it's really kind of looking at what teams will give you the most bang for your buck. But that kind of goes back to what I was saying about, I don't really like TB either. I don't necessarily know what I like about the game, but I know that I, to some extent, do really like the game. What I do like is finding ways to almost like exploit the game. So when it comes to TB, I do get enjoyment of finding out the things that I can auto in TB, right? So that's kind of one of the things that motherfucker didn't set his low ray yet. But one of the things that I do find joy in is finding ways to kind of hack the game so that I can do things a little bit easier for myself. So that's kind of why I'm getting a little bit of enjoyment right now out of TB, because I'm kind of looking for those things that help myself but also help other people, right? Like I said on my YouTube channel, I just have planet by planet everything that I've found that can auto different things, and that's super important for me. Whether or not it's the smartest way. That way that while I'm at work I can do my TV. That way while I'm kind of chatting with you guys I can do my TV. That way I can run a battle before I take a shower in the morning, and I never actually have to sit down and play it. As for the raid, I have literally not even once put the raid on manual. I've never manualed it, not even a single time. It has literally never once ever happened. I don't enjoy the raid. I mean, I guess I don't know if I enjoy the raid because I've never played it. But I don't think I'm going to enjoy it, and my guild isn't really pushing past, where we're at right now. It doesn't seem that anybody in my guild who is playing it manually is enjoying it either. So for me, I just don't see, the point in doing a manual on it. I think I get as of last week, because I brought a few Phoenix up to R8 just for fun. I think I do about 8.5 million just on auto, right? I don't do the Leia hack. I literally have not even once done it on manual. Dance, like I said, hit me up on Discord, and the reason I say hit me up on Discord, and maybe you have, I'm not actually looking at my Discord right now. I see Christian, you have, is because I do have a Reddit thread where I kind of ask you guys to send me specific information, and that specific information is really important to kind of help me get through a roster review and kind of learn about you as a player, so that I can make more, informed decisions. I don't think that I need Kanan Jarrus right now, so let's just throw him in here. Let's do Mon Mothma, who I had to do for operations, and let's throw, let's just do that, see what happens. Oof. All right, well, while that is running, Christian, I'm going to get you that Reddit review thread that I have, and help you out. I do, appreciate the kind words, though. Oof, where is it? But there it is. So let me get this to you. And Dance, just because you are on Discord, because I can't multi-stream chat or whatever, I'll send you that link as well if you're interested in it. What are we? We're still on phase 1, yeah. I found that Leia in these battles can sometimes be a little bit annoying just on auto. Definitely not on auto, can 100% hands down do these battles, but the one reason that she maybe struggles a little bit is that stupid probe droid and just getting stuck behind it with the taunts. It's not that she'll lose in this round, because she won't, but it is that the battle can definitely take a little longer than it should take if you're completely refusing to play it on manual at all. Which I guess doesn't really matter, when you're just kind of hanging out and chatting. Let me add you to that list, Christian, too. I knocked out 3. I'm going to try to knock out at least 1 or 2 more after I finish my TB battles, too, for the night. For those of you who do watch it, my Tales Off the Hollow Table series on YouTube, I just dropped an episode, I think, this morning. It was kind of interesting. Me and a guy from Reddit, we ate really hot wings and chatted about the game. My colon regretted it the next day, but, I have fun doing it, sharing a drink with people. I'm hoping to get Arnold on there, but so far he's been ignoring me. That's okay. I'm like a persistent ex-girlfriend, so we will get him by the end of 2024 anyway, no matter what. That is my goal. Oh my god. Oof. Oh, I lost somebody. Whatever. I do hate these day 3 CMs just because they take forever to get through, but it's okay, because I have random strangers on the internet to help me get through it. Isn't that right, random strangers on the internet? Aren't you here to help me get through it? But this is the part where we all go, yeah, man. Okay, we'll work on that. Ha ha ha, Egnards so funny. He's hilarious. I'm just kidding. Pending. Oh, I lost somebody. Oh well. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Yeah, this is why I hate these friggin' CMs. This might be the first time I might lose with Leia. Well, that's what happens when you auto things. That's fine. I don't care. If I really needed these points, I would not be doing it on auto. My guild can cover my point deficit without a problem. Let's see. We'll just throw in a strong Jedi squad for fun. And who else? Not Cat. Let's throw in Kyle because we have the Omicron. Whew. Oh, look at that. Wave to just relax. I'm assuming we're adding you to the list. Let's see. Oh, I should probably hit auto, shouldn't I? Cheers, Travis. Thanks for spending your night with me. Got to work on like a Reddit, or not a Reddit, a radio voice. This has been Smooth Jazz and TB Battles with Egnards. Coming up next, we'll play some royalty-free music so that you don't get a copyright strike. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm suing you. Whew. Oh, man. This is a fun one. I like the Jedi Knight Cal Kestis battles because they prevent revives, and it's just something that you don't expect to work. If I remember correctly, I don't actually need Jedi Master Luke in this team, but it is my last node, so I don't really have a reason not to put him in the team other than showing off. Once again, we kind of get a little bit stuck behind these stupid taunts. If Jedi Master Luke was the leader, I would not be getting stuck behind those taunts. But that's okay. It's not really that big of a deal. Because that means I can look at things on the internet while this is also going on. I'm loving it. I don't know why I have the McDonald's jingle stuck in my head. They should be paying me. Well, you know what? The nice thing of being in phase 2 of this is that at least there's no respawns, and that means Jedi Knight Cal Kestis will slowly but surely take these guys out with his instant kill. Slowly but surely, any day now. Any day now. Any day. Once I do finish this battle, I am gonna just kind of take a quick look at my GAC. I'm not planning on doing it right now. I did do one battle just to make sure that I didn't forget to do it later, and that if I did forget to do it later, that at least I'd get rewards. And I'm going to try to knock out maybe one or two more of these roster reviews so that I can relax and enjoy my sick day of a morning tomorrow. Super fun to watch things on auto. Super fun to watch these things on auto. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da. We're almost done. And then I don't have to do anything else on auto. I think I have everything. I really wish that we could figure out that day 2 dark side CM. That would be super great. The fleet CM, I should say. Alright, I think I have finished everything that needs to get done. My guild's ahead of their stuff. Okay, let's see. Fleet Arena. Ooh, you know what? I have my energy. Might as well use a little bit of, no, let's just use all of it because I'm going to do my 5 refresh, not 5, holy crap. My 3 refreshes in the morning. Okay, so we are going to switch on back over. Alright, let's see if I can figure this out. We're going to turn that back on. We're going to turn... No, we're going to turn this back on, and we are going to turn... Where is that? We're going to turn the video capture back off. Let's go into the next roster review. Let me just take a quick timestamp. 10:50. Alright, I'm going to pull up my Discord. I know you guys can't see my Discord. There's really no reason to. Is this the correct one? Should we consider things sometimes? Oh, that's from before I was. Alright, let's try to find this guy. Crono Cast. No, it's not him. Is it him? Oh, there it is. Okay, so this guy, Crono. I don't think he gave me a lot of information, but let's go after it. Whatever it comes before Sunday, that's fine too. Throw this up. 4 7-star Leviathans. He has a 5-star Leviathan. There's 5 Profundities, 10 Executors, so he seems to be in pretty good shape. All ABs are 7 except S and S, which is 4 of 7. So Secrets and Shadows he's not doing so hot on yet. Currently grinding Jedi Knight Kel Kestis, tentatively eyeing Leia after. Okay, so this is interesting. I either get like people who are super low in the game, or I get people that are super high in the game. I don't really necessarily understand players who are really high in the game asking for this kind of help, but we're going to kind of look at this anyway. Current rank 6. It looks like we go between... We stay in the top 10. I'm curious if you are someone who actually talks to their fleet Discord, and the reason I ask that is that there are a lot of people, believe it or not, that I talk to that are higher up that don't have communication with their fleet Discord. If you're not already doing that, I would definitely suggest doing that. Note to self, I'm going to add that to my roster review thread so that people can kind of tell me that and I don't have to guess it anymore. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, so we have Kylo, we have Rey, we've got Luke, we've got Jedi Master, we have Sith, awesome for Bane, Kenobi, Lord Vader. A lot of people skip Lord Vader, I've been noticing. I really like Lord Vader. We have Inquisitor, thankfully. No Jabba, interesting, okay. That's going to completely change what I tell you. So we have all of those fleets. Afra, honestly, I don't give a shit about. Bo, now with there being another Cantina, no Cantina farm rather, I'm kind of slow farming, and myself, I'm going to be starting to look at some side projects. Okay, let's see what we got here. Bosch. We have Skiff almost done, and Quercetan is done. Let's just take a look at Drogon. Drogon's 5-star. Scout. I'm surprised I didn't forget Scout. I usually do. Nessa and crap. Who's the last? Captain Rex, right? Captain Rex, 5 and 6 stars for all of them. Okay, so I know that you're saying you want to go for Leia tentatively next. Well, you know what, before I even say that, let me just double check where we are with these guys. Cal Kestis, alright, Marin's at G12, and Tarful is at 6 stars. Alright, so yeah, I mean, your guild is probably pushing you to do Jedi Knight Cal Kestis a little bit, which is fine. 100%, if that's something that you're really going for right now, then 100% do that. You're kind of close enough. I think you said 4 of 7 on Secrets and Shadows, which means that you should be doing CT1. If you're not doing CT1, you definitely should be able to with what you have right now, but I'm pretty sure 4 of 7 is CT1. Can you not? Ooh, thank you. I apologize. Let me see. You know what's weird? It's showing up in my transition, but it's not showing up here. So let me take a second. I've been having that trouble a lot lately. Let me pull it up again. That's a pain in my ass. I have to remember to fix that somehow in the future. But I appreciate you telling me, because I am just kind of mumbling to myself, right? And that's kind of silly. Let's do this. And let's have a little interlude while Egnards figures his shit out. Because Safari. Done. Transition. You should be able to see it now, so hopefully that's correct. Thank you for letting me know. Let me change that over to his to his profile. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm just going to quickly kind of show you where he's at with his GLs right now, so that those of you playing along at home can kind of follow along too with what I'm already going to suggest. When I send this to him later, he is probably going to be like, LOL, that is silly. Why are you so dumb? I don't care about that. He has all of his fleets. Okay. So Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, 100% do that right now, just because it seems like your guild is probably wanting you to, and the message that you sent me kind of alludes to the fact that it's more hardcore for you and it's something that you really want to do. I would strongly suggest not going for Leia right now. The reality is we've kind of passed the time where ROI matters on the raid, and by the time you get her, which I would say is not too far, but maybe 2 to 3 months away, you know, she's good. She's really great. Like, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to see a return on that investment for the raid itself. Jabba is a much stronger contender for you right now, right? You have everything at 7 stars. You're going to need Bosch anyway for Leia, so you're kind of working on Leia a little bit, but you already have Quercetan and Skiff where they need to be. If I remember correctly from before, you guys pointed me out and said I was a jackass. Yeah, Skiff is only 6 stars, but you can slow farm that, just 5 shards a day, and you'll be completely fine. The reason you want to go for Jabba over Leia is that the ROI on the Smuggler's Run 2 event, which is a mod event, right, is so much higher than the Ender Escalation 3 event. The Ender Escalation 3 event, it might as well be like free pennies that you get, and it is nice to get an Omicron every once in a while, but you are going to strongly, you're going to love every time Smuggler's Run 2 comes around for the rewards, because the event itself sucks. Though for any of you watching, you can auto it if you use his regular squad, except you take, who do we take out? We take out a 5th, right? So you want to use Skiff, Bosch, Jabba, And then you want to use Chewy and Quercetan. And if you just go to the point where you get your first Quercetan taunt and then hit auto, you should be able to, at like a generous normal like R7 for that team, you should be able to auto it about 80% of the time. Generally what happens on a Smuggler's Run 2 morning is I throw it on right before I get in the shower. Get out of the shower, it's done. Then I throw on the second round while I'm like brushing my teeth and making coffee. I'm all done. I don't have to deal with it at all. So I would strongly consider Jabba before you go for Leia. It just makes sense. Now, I mean, outside of that, I just, for somebody who really likes efficiency myself, I just don't see any reason to go for anything that is not a GL until you have all of the GLs. So right now I would say, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, because that's what you seem to really want to be going for, then Jabba, then Leia. While you're working on Jabba, you can slow farm the rest of the Leia shards, and you should be able to get those in, fairly short order. That's the point where you might want to start looking at other farms and deciding what you want to bring up. And that's the point where you might consider improving on your Night Sisters a little bit more to kind of build that to a 7 out of 7 event. I've said this earlier in the stream, I love the Night Sisters team ever since Merrin came in to the game. Amazing. They do great in ROTE. I don't want to say they do great in Conquest, but they do great in Conquest if you use the right data cards. Yeah, this is a bigger account that I'm used to, working with. We've had a lot of big accounts tonight. People that there really aren't tons of paths, right? Like smaller accounts, there are a lot of paths, but for this, there's nothing. The only shift is go Jabba over going for Leia. Okay, there's not too much else I can tell you other than Jabba, Leia, then reassess based on what's coming to the game after that. Let's move on. 1:21:15, and let me pull up. Man, I'm gonna have nothing to do this weekend. Miriam. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see. I don't know if this person actually talked to me on Discord or if they talked to me on Reddit. Let's find out, I guess. Is this the person? No. You would think I would have all of this organized beforehand, but that is the beauty of... Oh, maybe it's this guy. Oh, okay. I just said it wrong. It's Mattam. This guy wrote me a dissertation, so let me put on my best audiobook voice and let's go through this, shall we? Alright, let's see. This is an early progress account. I started this account in 2016, quit sometime in 2018 around release of Ships, Han Solo movie. I had marquee characters up to that point, back when Arita meta was still CLS, Han, Kenobi, Thrawn, R2-D2, and G12 left side gear only. People love telling me about old metas. I was there for them, I know. I came back in November 2023, so very new, missing a lot of stuff in the middle. With the help of Discord, Reddit, EA forums, decided my focus would be C into Executor. This was to help me get increased crystal income quicker from GAC. It was around 1.5 million GP. Now 3 months later, I'm 2.8 million GP. I was free to play until the latest round of Lightspeed bundles. Bought the SLKR bundle. I find efficiency fun, but easily distracted because I have so many teams I want to get going ASAP. Don't we all? There's 8 Leviathans in the top 20, 1 6-star. The rest are execs and profundity. 3 of the execs and 2 of the profundity are not max tiers. but the accounts are 7 to 10 million GP. 10 of the 50 have been guildless for quite a while, mostly executors. CT1, 3 or 4 out of 7. CT2, 0 out of 7. CT3, 0 out of 7. Overall immediate goals, Carbonite to Chromium via C and Executor. Crystal income from Fleet Arena ASAP. Current farms, Emp, Marjade, Troopers, Dark Trooper. Okay, that's good to know. Executor requirements, Phoenix to C-Rex to 5, maybe Rest Accelerated. CLS, Endor. There are a lot of things that you are trying to farm all at once. Slow the F down, man. Planned future farms, C requirement, Krennic, BAM requirement, IG 11, Cara Dune. You're going to need, for the Executor, you're going to need BAM, so I would start putting that more on your radar now. As someone who is not free to play, but is kind of free to play adjacent, since you're only really putting things towards the Lightspeed bundles at this point. If you want to prioritize your Fleet Arena, you're going to need to start working on those BAM requirements more now, rather than them being after this laundry list of characters. Future ship farms is... This is one organized mofo. Okay, specific questions and advice I'm looking for. Assault Battle, CT1, 2, 3 teams. Guidance towards what teams' orders I can concurrently farm viable at G12. Wall Relicking, C Executive requirements. Also taking into account Cairo Bottleneck. 5-star Malevolence, then 7-star Negotiator. Or Max Malevolence first. Did I make a mistake by going for Malevolence first? What else? Alright, let's take a look. 2.8 million. Gear needed. Okay, so we have the Kylo pack. Nowhere on there. Sith Eternal Emperor. Lord Vader. Star Killer, Inquisitor, Jabba, Executor, Profundity. Okay, let's just take a look at what we got here. A lot of people, when they do these roster reviews, they do like these deep dives into the account, and it takes a lot of time. I find that giving a more general path makes a lot more sense, specifically because when I do a review, people come back to me with more information later, and they go, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this. And then I go, oh, well, then that completely changes my answer. So as I complain about that, let's see, Houndstooth. Okay, I would definitely be prioritizing Houndstooth, because you're going to need that for Executor, but it's also going to be something that you need for Finalizer. And what I'm finding strange is that a lot of people are buying these Lightspeed bundles, but they're not investing in those GLs. And while Kylo Ren is not a GL that I would suggest getting early on, the Lightspeed bundles kind of change that, especially if you've bought them. And it's kind of silly to spend $10 on something and then just kind of let that stuff burn in the background. So hands down, I would definitely be kind of putting some time and effort towards him, even though normally it's not something that I would fully recommend. Let's just kind of check on the rest of the ships here for Executor. TIE, Advanced, Good, Slave 1. Oh, right, it's Slave I for whatever reason. IG 2000. Oh my god, okay. TIE Fighter. Just in case, we're going to check this out. Okay. And Bomber. Right. And I'm assuming because we don't have BAM, it doesn't make sense to have that. Okay, let's check out the Finalizer requirements. We have that, we have that. Silencer is 2-star. Advanced is right where we need it. I really shouldn't have checked it. Xanadu, Blood, Command, Shuttle. This is very, very interesting. And then let me just double check that Bomber again. Okay. Okay, so, man, geez. What I would really suggest doing is slow farming the requirements for all those ships for the finalizer. Definitely putting significant priority towards Houndstooth just because you're going to want it for the Executor fleet, and you're going to need it for the Executor fleet anyway. TIE Silencer, I happen to know, is a Cantina farm, and you're going to be relicing that right now, so I know you don't want to necessarily take everything out of your Cantina to do TIE Silencer, but you do have a lot of time until you level these ships up. So what I suggest doing is do your refreshes on the silencer, do your refreshes on the signal data, and maybe during your noon or whatever time your midday refreshes, whatever accumulation and bonus energy you have, use that towards the silencer, and it'll still probably be relatively quick compared to like Ig 2000. Keep in mind that ship farms all take about 6 months to do if you're not refreshing them, so you kind of want to get a jump on them right away. The ones that are specifically for Executor, you may want to refresh the ones that are at 2 or 3 stars just so that you can get them up, because like you said, one of your biggest priorities right now is getting fleet crystal income, which does also involve reaching out to your fleet Discord, but you're not ready for that yet right now. Okay, you can try reaching out to them and they might just say, hey, come back later, and then you'll know whether or not they are hostile or not. But they're not going to let you in until you can get into the top 10 without asking and begging for people to kind of take their stuff down, right? So it's not a necessary step, but I would be slow farming my focus on SLKR just because you're so damn close. I would be putting a renewed focus on Executor. It's going to take you a little while because you don't have BAM yet, which means you're probably a significant amount of shards away from being able to get him. But you're going to need your ships like A2000 and Xanadu Blood for that fleet to function and work. So you're going to need to work on those. Get that BAM stuff going right away as well, like I said before, because that is going to be your bread and butter, is those Executor shards going forward. C kind of leads directly into what you're asking me, which involves the ROI on your assault battles. So we're going to kind of pull up, for example, your Imperial Troopers. Well, let me pull up Sith first and then go to Imperial Troopers after. Okay. Now, when you go for SLKR, he's going to allow you to do Places of Power at CT3, but it's a really slow, boring process, and it's a 1-star, which basically means that you're going to hate yourself the entire time that you're doing it, and it's much better with C, because once you hit that 3-star, you never have to worry about it again. The big bonus for going for C is that you're going to get the majority of a team that you need in order to get 3 out of the 7 of those assault battles at CT7. Holy shit. 3 out of 7 of those assault battles at CT3. Piet, Veer, Stark are your core because you need them. So Piet at R8 because of Executor, and then Veers and Stark are R3. You don't really need to go higher than that. You do if you want a really good Imperial Trooper team. You don't if you're just concerned about your ROI on the events. Okay, and that's going to give you very close to CT3 on Rebel Roundup, as well as very close to CT3 on Forest Moon. You are going to need to level up two more troopers in order to do that. One of those should 100% be range trooper because of all of the TM gain, and as an older character, the Kyrotech investment to G12 is very, very low. I happen to do both of those events with a G12 range trooper, not too much difficulty as all, as long as you kind of remod for it, which is worth it, since you only have to do it once to get the 3-star. Now, who you use for your 5th is largely going to depend on whether you want a budget team or whether you want a strong team. Snow Trooper is a great option at G12 for a budget team, just to get the assault battles done, because again, at G12 there's no Kyrotech investment. But you mentioned going for Dark Trooper a little bit earlier on, and going for Dark Trooper is going to give you a little bit of a stronger team, but you're not going to see an ROI right away, since you're going to have to use your your Chirotech just to get him up to where he's useful, right? So that's kind of a decision on where you kind of want to go. But I would definitely be slow farming into SLKR with my priority, my full-on priority towards executor requirements and C requirements. I want to take a look here at my rebels. Oh my god. Okay. We have Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca. Did I see a C-3PO? I do not see a C-3PO. And who am I missing? And Chewpio. Okay. That is good to know. And let's look at my Jedi. My Jedi are not in the greatest graces right now. And you're going to want to change that. But not necessarily a right this second concern. Let's take a look at Bomba and Hermit. Okay, so I think I want to do with you is go the pretty traditional route, and I recommend this to a lot of people when we're talking about just overall account health. Okay, not everybody wants just overall account health. Some people want like a really heavy GAC focus or a really heavy TW focus, but I think the smart play in the early game is to kind of build on the ROI of the events so that over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, you're actually building extra investment from your teams. So go for that slow farm on SLKR, right? Because you bought the Lightspeed bundle, you're so close. Kind of work C Executor in tandem, working priority towards Executor just because that's going to be your fleet income. C is going to give you that CT3 in 3 of the assault battles, right? One of them you will already be able to do with First Order, but hopefully once you get it down, you'll be able to do it at 3 stars so that you're not going to have to do it each month. What I would be doing after that is going for Jedi Master Luke, and the only really major hurdle that you have to work towards early is making sure that you get Hermit Yoda to 7 stars. I would say between C and Executor, you do have some time, so you don't necessarily have to worry about it today, but I would be putting some priority towards that. And there are a couple reasons why I think Jedi Master Luke should be most people's second GL, but in your case, it'll be your third GL. Number one, it's going to give you the majority of your Rebel team so that you'll be able to CT2 or CT3 military might with the traditional, CLS, Chewpio, Han Solo, Chewbacca. You don't have C-3PO yet. You might need C-3PO to get CT3, but you will be able to get CT2 with R2 for the time being. And you'll also be able to get close to CT3 on Ground War. And I say close to CT3 as opposed to actually CT3, just because the rest of your Jedi are kind of rough shape right now. And there's really not that much you can do about it in the short term. Right? The plan, though, for that Ground War assault battle is going to be to get a Jedi Knight Luke with 0 speed mods on him, and get a Hoda that is super, super fast, and always use the granted special that Jedi Knight Luke grants to everybody at the start of the battle, and to finish each round so that Jedi Knight Luke gets the first turn each round. And that speed limiting effect is going to make things a lot easier. That's going to give you a 5/7 CT3 rating. And 5/7 is amazing at that level. The other two don't have a great ROI really early on. So they're not things that we want to worry necessarily right this instance about. But they'll, come into play later. You're also, as a 2.8 million account, going to want to start thinking about Conquest and moving forward in Conquest. And Jedi Master Luke is hands down the best Conquest unit for under-geared accounts trying to get different feats. So that's something that you're going to largely want to kind of push as you get just a little bit further in the game. You'll notice that as you get C and Executor and your crystal income starts ramping up, that you will you'll be moving ahead a lot faster. Now, the one thing I want to check here. Okay, so we don't have Marauder yet, which is completely fine. I didn't really think that we would have it, but I did want to take a look. You're going to be working towards Executor, so largely, whether you're talking about Malevolence or Negotiator, it doesn't matter as much as you might think it would. I would say maybe just consider focusing on the Malevolence route just because you're already much closer to it. In the old days, I would have said you made a mistake, but because you are going to be hopefully getting Executor in the next 2 to 3 months, and the timeline on Negotiator and Malevolence is going to be roughly similar, if not longer, it's not going to really necessarily matter. But in the short term, just because it's going to get you there a little bit quicker, I would work on Malevolence. And yeah, I imagine your bugs were not half bad, just on the basis that you made the choice to go for that first. The reality is that you're in a section of the game where, yeah, I could look through all of your farms and say, hey, you got to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. But I think your first most important thing is going to be to just build the ROI around your account before you start building whatever teams that you want. And at that point, I would largely consider going for Revan, who's going to slot in with Jedi Master Luke really, really, really well. And we'll probably solidify that CT3 on Ground War if you're not able to get it without him, which is definitely a possibility, simply because your Jedi have been neglected. Okay, you are, let's just take a look, you're in a pretty low guild, but I mean, you're 2.8 million, their average is 4.9, so wouldn't be leaving these guys any soon. You kind of want to stay on their good side right now. So that's where I think you should go, and from where you should go and how you should go. Because final reminder, the ROI on your account, the sooner you start building towards certain things, the better off it's going to be for you in the long run. The longer you withhold certain events that should be done, the more disservice you're doing for yourself. Now, because we're going to be seeing some shifts in the next 6 to 7 months, a lot of this information can change, which is why I'm really hesitant to go any further than just what I've already told you. But I would strongly consider, only based on the information that I have today, that Jabba is a really solid route after you get those two, because it's a little on the easier side for a GL. You're already going to have Jedi Knight Luke. He's also great in Conquest for anything that doesn't allow you to have UFUs or Rebels and Sith. And that Smuggler's Run 2 event is going to help you play catch up on your mods. The final thing I'm going to say once again is, if you're not already doing it, get into contact with your Fleet Shard, talk to them, and see if you can get involved in that. Now, with that said, my throat is dry. I appreciate the time of everybody that came to hang out with me tonight. I do feel a little bit better, and I have been distracted from feeling sick, so I do appreciate that. I might be streaming tomorrow morning just because I took the day off from work because of being sick. And we are planning to do a stream Sunday morning for the Super Bowl. So, good fight, good night, or something like that.